Okay, so today I wanted to do a tour of Google Workspace. So I'm currently logged into my own Google Workspace, and I'm just going to give you a quick tour. So once we're logged in, you can see I'm logged in because I can see my Google account picture right there. If you don't have a picture, it'll just say like the first letter and the last letter of your name, and then or the last letter of your last name. And then if I wanted to go to my Gmail, I would just click on Gmail, and then I'll be back into my emails. If I wanted to go to my business profile manager, I could click here and I would be able to see all of my business, reviews. I would be able to edit my business profile, and I would be able to edit my business photos. I can also edit my business SEO and advertise. So that's simply by clicking on the business profile manager right here. And again, you can get to your Gmail also by clicking on these Google apps and just going over to Gmail. If you wanted to do anything in your Drive or calendar, you can just navigate everything pretty much through this little main hub. They have lots of other apps. The main ones that I use are my admin account, business profile manager, Gmail for email, Drive for storing photos, sharing things with clients, uploading pretty much everything, organizing my Google Docs and my Google Sheets. I also organize everything in the Drive. Google Calendar is for scheduling meetings. I use that for all of my meetings. And then Google Meet is connected through Google Calendar. So for example, if I go to my calendar and I scheduled, this meeting right here, then I'm going to click on this meeting. And if you wanted to join with Google Meet, it'll already have the Google Meet link there. If I wanted to add a Google Meet link to something, I would just click on the event, hit edit, and add Google Meet conferencing. And then suddenly you have the link right there, and anybody who is invited, any guests that I invite, will be able to join with Google Meet. So that's in the calendar. I'm going to jump over to Drive. Now, once we're in Drive, you can see all of like the recent emails, recent things. I always just jump over to my Drive by hitting right here because I have it organized in a way that I really like. I have archive, which is any client projects or any things that, I'm no longer using, but I wanted to keep stored in here. You have a lot more storage when you have a Google Workspace account than when you have a normal Google account. And also when you have a Google Workspace account, you're able to have longer Google Meet meetings through your calendar. So that's a huge thing. I usually will have any main projects I'm working on organized in my projects tab, and then any resources, like any documents that I usually need to access, I'll put in my resources tab, like contracts, freebies, anything, Instagram training, whatever it is that I really want to access a lot, I'll put in the resources area. And again, any current client projects that I have or any, thing that I'm currently working on, I'll have in this area right here. I like to organize all of my clients in my areas, and I just put them in clients. Again, I have the main areas of my business right in here. So all of my clients, I have their folders here, and you can see with this little person icon that the client is shared in this folder. So let's click on this one, for example. So they're going to have all of their brand files, all of the pictures we took for that photo shoot, and any other folders, any other things that we need, they're going to be in this folder. And I like to keep it really organized. That's under the client folder. I can really easily jump to this. And the client is shared here. They're shared with this entire folder and anybody else who might need it. It is a private folder. And then once the project is completed, I will transfer ownership to the client if they request it, but I will still have it organized in this folder so I can always easily access all of my clients and all of their projects right in here. All right, now with marketing, again, like I like to organize the social media, different mockups we use, whatever, marketing materials I'm going to be using, I like to have it in the marketing in my areas. I got the method of organizing my Drive in this way from the book, How to Build a Second Brain. I absolutely love organizing my Google Drive like this. I think it keeps everything super organized. It's just very easy to navigate. I also organize my desktop on my computer like this, and I update it once a week. So I have personal, business, archive, and then if I go to business, areas, projects, resources. So it's just a really simple way to organize. I have not clearly updated my desktop with all of these files yet for this week, but again, it just keeps everything really concise, really organized and I just don't have to worry about trying to find all of my projects. Now, say somebody shared something with you and you haven't put it in one of your folders yet. That's totally fine. So I'm just going to jump over to shared with me and see all of these documents that one of my clients shared with me. So if I wanted to go ahead and organize these documents, even though they're not my documents, but they're documents that somebody shared with me, I can still do that. And how I would do that is I would click on the document by clicking these four corners, and I would click on this organize and then add a shortcut. So once I add a shortcut, then I can go ahead and go to clients, go to the specific client, and I can go ahead and just add it in her folder. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it to the main folder, and now it's added in there. And the people that are on the team that are added in that folder are all going to have access to this. And I'm going to do that for all of these files because this is all for one client. So again, and since I just did it, it'll pop up and add that shortcut. So it's really, again, it just keeps everything organized and neat and easy to find. All right, so now that all of those files are in that folder, now whenever I go to my drive and I go to that client folder, I can see all of the files right here. And you can tell that I don't own them because there's this little arrow that shows that it's just a shortcut, so I can find it really easily. So again, that just keeps it really simple and organized for me, and it makes it so I can always share any of my projects. Now, say I have a folder that I want to share with a client. Let's use this one. So this is my partner. So I don't think there's any folders in here yet because we haven't actually started his project that we've been wanting to start for forever. That's what happens when you have a web designer as your wife. So what I'm going to do if I want to share this folder with him is I'm going to hit on this little icon and I'm going to share the folder with my partner. So I'm just going to put his email in and I'm going to say brand folder. I'm going to make him an editor so he can like add, organize, edit files, not just a viewer. If you just want somebody to be able to view the files but not mess with anything, not touch it, you can be viewer. If you want to allow them to comment, but again, not mess with anything, not, move things around, you can put them as a commenter. I always put my clients as an editor. Again, I just want them to have full access to everything. So brand folder, send, and now he has access to this folder. All right, so now it's all sent. And once we start adding things into this folder, so say I wanted to make a folder to organize the files within this folder, I would just hit new folder, and then I could upload all of his brand logos, whatever it is, and he's already going to have access to this file, you can see because the little person icon, because I put it in his client folder. And if anything he wants to share with me, again, we would just upload it directly to this folder so it's very organized and easy to find. And that's my favorite way to use the drive. Again, you have a lot of storage. There's lots of things you can put in the drive. It's just really easy to find things and organize things. And again, with the calendar, we went over the quick calendar. And then we have sheets. You can keep track of everything in sheets. You can also do slideshows, and you can store your docs, sheets, and slideshows and forms, and pretty much anything that you're creating. You can store all of these docs, sheets, slides, and forms inside your drive so you can easily access and organize any of them. So if I'm in, let's go back to Gabe's folder. If I'm in Gabe's folder and I want to do a slideshow, I can add a slideshow into his folder by clicking this. If I want to add a sheet, I can add it in here. So I can always add any of these directly into his folder right away just by clicking on any of the items that I would like to use. I also have other apps, but these are the main ones that we typically use. Again, we're just trying to keep everything super organized in this folder. Now, say I finish this folder and I want to transfer ownership to somebody. In order to transfer ownership to another client, I would need Gabe to go into his own drive and create his own folder that he owns. And then I would move this folder into his folder, if that makes sense. I can't show an example of that because he would need to make the folder. But once I move this file, so I organize, move, I can move it into folders that are shared with me, even if I don't own that folder. So once I move it into that folder that's shared with me, even if I don't own that folder, then they will become the owner of that file. And that is the simplest way to transfer file ownership to other people, even if you've created the folder. And that's how I do it with all of my clients. A lot of people have questions about how to change this picture. Sometimes this picture gets a little wonky. Sometimes it gets disorganized or compressed and you can't quite fix it. So in order to edit this profile, you're going to console. So in order to get to your admin console, you're going to click on the photo, not here, not the account. You're going to click on the photo, exit that, and you're going to hit this admin console button. Once you're in your admin console, then you can manage your users. And you can make sure that they have access to edit their profile. So upload profile photo. So this is where you can upload a profile photo for the user. I'm going to go to my design assistant. I can upload her profile photo. And that's how you would upload the profile photos. So it's a little frustrating that you have to go all the way to admin console and it gets a little confusing, but that is how you're going to be able to update the photos. And then you should be able to manage your Google account and change the profile picture and settings from there. Again, remember square ratio. And that's pretty much everything for Google. Just gonna go to home. See, it's so funny. You can't update it from right here, but you can just update it from over there. That's something I see a lot of my clients have a hard time with, is the profile picture. So I just wanted to do a thorough tutorial on how to do that, how to edit everything in your Google, how to really use Google to the, fullest of your to the fullest of its capacity, because there really is a lot that Google has to offer, which is really just amazing. And you want to make sure that you're really using it to the fullest of its capabilities. All right, and if you have any questions about this, we also have the billing, and if you want to add users, you would also do that from the admin console. So if you wanted to add designer@milesdean.com or whatever it is you want to add, you would do all of that from the Google console. All right, so that's pretty much everything for Google. If you cannot upload the photo in a as any proportions, it has to be uploaded in a square proportion. So it has to be even uploads. Otherwise, it's going to compress your photo or from the top or the bottom, and it's going to look wonky and a little bit unprofessional. So when you upload this photo within the admin console for you or your team members, you're going to want to make sure it is a square ratio. And if it is not, you need to crop that photo so it is a square ratio so it does not get compressed.